Episode 30, The CCP's History of Killing and Murderous Campaigns.
各位观众大家好，
Greetings,
欢迎大
everyone.
家来到
Welcome to the
是正
Ironclad
山
Irrefutable
系列讲
Evidence series. Please don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this program. This is a critical issue related to the well-being and security of each individual, every community, and our entire society. Thank you very much for your attention and support. In today's episode, I'd like to introduce a few cases where Chinese citizens' organs were harvested on purpose. Then we will take a look at the historical context behind the CCP's live organ harvesting of Falun Gong practitioners. Let's begin. The interim provision on the use of cadavers and organs from executed prisoners was published in 1984. This document legalized the procurement of organs from executed prisoners in China. However, the CCP executed prisoners for their organs long before this provision was published. Here is one of many examples. In 1975, Zhong Haiyuan, a young female teacher at Jingfeng Shen Elementary School in Guizhou, Jiangxi Province, was jailed for supporting someone labeled as anti-revolutionary. She stood firm in her independent opinions and bravely refused to plead guilty after being beaten while in custody. As a result, she was designated anti-revolutionary herself and sentenced to death. On April 30th, 1978, the date of her execution, the executioner shot her in the right lower back, intentionally avoiding her heart area to ensure that she didn't die instantly. After she was shot, medical personnel rushed her to a waiting military truck, where one of her kidneys was extracted on site and then immediately implanted into the body of a high-ranking official's son in Nangchang, Jiangxi Province. Harvesting organs from healthy, young death row inmates by abusing the principle of voluntary donations has long been an unspoken rule in China's judicial administrations. China's traditional culture requires the deceased be respected, and a dead body should be kept in its entirety. So insults to corpses without reason are very rare, and very few Chinese people are willing to donate their bodies or organs. Furthermore, the CCP regime takes organs not only from death row inmates, but also from those who are not guilty or whose crimes are not punishable by death. In 1995, 20-year-old Nie Shubin was sentenced to death 6 months after being arrested for rape and murder, despite insufficient evidence. It was believed that he was given a death sentence because his organs matched with those of a high-ranking CCP official. In 2005, although the real rapist, Wang Shujin, confessed, the presiding court in Hebei refused to exonerate Nie Shubin until 2016. In 2009, a street vendor from Shenyang, Xia Junfeng, was beaten by staff from the local Urban Administrative and Law Enforcement Bureau. While defending himself, Xia killed 2 of the staff members. Although the public and legal community agreed that Xia didn't deserve the death penalty, he was executed on September 25, 2013, at the age of 36. Strangely, his attorney and family weren't notified about his execution time until September 25th. According to the Beijing News newspaper, when Xia's wife, Zhong Jing, received what Xia had left her from the prison, the package contained the clothes Xia was wearing when he met his family for the last time. She murmured to herself, "What was he wearing when he left?" Similar to Nie's case, Xia's announced execution date was months before his actual execution date. It is believed that this time lapse was used to seek a suitable organ buyer and to arrange for the organ transplant operation. This is indicative of non-consensual organ harvesting. In November 2013, Phoenix Weekly published an article titled, "The Veiled Reality of the Human Organ Trade in China." The article stated, "In the past decade, traveling to China for organ transplants has become increasingly popular. In China, organs seem to be available all the time with very little wait time needed. The matching procedures are done quickly. Medical professionals around the world believe that there must be massive underground organ banks in China, where organs are harvested from living people. In other words, there must be organ suppliers whose blood has been tested, blood types and other matching tests completed and filed beforehand, and who would be taken to the hospital, in other words, slaughterhouses, on demand. That is the only way to guarantee the uninterrupted availability of organs, which can be supplied on extremely short notice. The article explicitly pointed out that Falun Gong practitioners who have no legal protection in China, detainees in labor camps, homeless people in the streets, and human trafficking victims, including women and children, are all vulnerable targets of this organized dark organ business. What's more, the investigation done by Ethan Gutman, former adjunct fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, discovered that the CCP began harvesting organs from Uyghurs decades ago. A comparison of organ harvesting in China before and after 1999. Similarities. The source of organs is a state secret. Organs are extracted without consent. Military hospitals are primarily involved. CCP officials and their families are the priority recipients of organs. Differences. Organ harvesting has become a state-sanctioned crime. It is an industrialized operation with much higher transplant volume and extraordinarily short waiting times. The target groups for organ harvesting were expanded from criminals and political dissidents to innocent, non-violent minorities. Nevertheless, we want to make it clear that healthy Falun Gong practitioners are the majority of the victims. Transplant surgeons, the CCP's barbaric executioners, extract organs from victims while they are fully conscious. Large transplant centers work on facilitating international patients' organ transplant trips to China. Organ transplants have become routine and the main source of revenue in many hospitals. The CCP's history of killing. The CCP's true nature is characterized by malevolence, hatred, violence, lies, and deception. Since its inception, there have been many extremely violent political campaigns. Each political movement brought about massive chaos and death. This resulted in an estimated death toll of 60 to 80 million Chinese people, more than that of both world wars combined. The CCP's deep hatred for its own people showed in the party's genocidal massacres. Here are a few examples. 1950s. Campaign to suppress counter-revolutionaries. Officially reported deaths, 2.4 million. Estimated deaths, 5 million. Land reform movement. Estimated death tolls according to Mao Zedong, 2 to 3 million. 3 anti-campaign and 5 anti-campaign. Arrests, 323,100. Suicides or missing persons, 280. Eliminations of the counter-revolutionaries. Executions, 21,300. Suicides or missing persons, 4,300. 1960s. The Great Leap Forward and the Great Chinese Famine. Deaths, 15 to 55 million. Cultural Revolution. Short-term and long-term injuries, 7.3 million. Unnatural deaths, 1.73 million. Detainees, 4.2 million. Executions, 135,000. Violent deaths, 237,000. Households that lost all family members, 71,200. According to a Japanese media outlet report, the CCP Central Committee's investigation confirmed that the Cultural Revolution affected 600 million Chinese people. 1980s, Tiananmen Square Massacre. On the evening of June 3, 1989, the CCP ordered its troops to fire upon peaceful protesters at Tiananmen Square and the surrounding streets using real ammunition. The CCP's military dispatched tanks to chase and crush the protesters, including many students. In 2014, leaked information from a classified White House document stated that the CCP's internal report estimated that there were 40,000 casualties during the Tiananmen Square massacre, including 10,454 people killed. 1990s. The scale of this genocidal persecution against Falun Gong practitioners, which is still ongoing, is the largest persecution of belief in human history. Hundreds of millions of people's freedom of faith has been suppressed. and millions of people are being illegally detained. Furthermore, the evilest crime of live organ harvesting, something unprecedented on this planet, continues to take place. As a result, a massive number of Falun Gong practitioners have been murdered. We suggest you read the 9 commentaries on the Communist Party to learn more about the CCP's true nature. WOIPFG shall never give up in fulfilling its mission. The CCP demonizes mankind and turns society into hell on earth. During our investigation, we've seen that through brainwashing and exorbitant profits, the CCP has taken control of such a large number of people and completely destroyed their humanity and replaced it with demonic nature. Thus, doctors bearing the sacred role of saving lives have been turned into ruthless murderers. During the process, the CCP has completely destroyed the bottom line of human moral conscience. Not only do they brutalize Falun Gong practitioners, but they also endanger the whole society and even bring destruction to the entire human race. Anyone still under its influence has placed him or herself in peril. Comprehensively investigating and exposing the CCP's crimes against humanity is a war of self-defense for mankind. 2. We remained determined in the face of daunting challenges. Since WOIPFG's establishment on January 20, 2003, we knew clearly that the kind of investigation we'd conduct would be unusual. It would be a special investigation targeting the country of China under the CCP's rule in a war-like state. The subject of our investigation is state-sanctioned crimes committed by the CCP totalitarian terrorist organization, which is the most evil and the largest of such regimes in human history. Our investigation is made possible with the long-term, selfless commitment from our volunteers and supporters inside and outside of China, who chose to stand on the side of justice. We would like to extend our sincere gratitude to all of you. We understand that the persecutors are also victims, and the consequences of their actions are extremely tragic. Our goal is to investigate thoroughly and expose the evil, giving these people a chance to awaken and avoid their own destruction. WOIPFG is a non-profit organization with a volunteer staff. Over the many years of our operations, WOIPFG has not accepted any external donations. All members of WOIPFG are volunteers who pay for various expenses out of their own pockets and rely on their own jobs for survival. Under all circumstances, we are determined to always carry out our investigation, as we know how important this project is. It has been years since the live organ harvesting was first exposed to the world. Yet the carnage in China has not come to an end. Faced with this reality, we often feel profound anxiety and grief. Many of us often wake up with a start in the middle of the night. Perhaps even as we speak, there may be many kind and innocent people being forced onto operating tables for live organ harvesting. There are still many people who have been kept in dark prisons for many years, facing the danger of having their organs carved out by indescribably cruel means at any time. How much and how urgently they need rescue from the outside world. How painful it is for their family members to miss their loved ones for years. We feel the responsibility and pressure on our shoulders. 3. What can you do to stop the CCP's crimes against humanity? Our recommendations to every individual. 1. Clarify the facts of the CCP's forced organ harvesting from living Falun Gong practitioners to your family, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. Let the whole world know the truth and stand together to stop the CCP's crimes against humanity. Investigate and collect the names of individuals suspected of live organ harvesting crimes and evidence to report to WOIPFG. Please help make preparations for the grand historical trial in the future. We call on all countries to thoroughly investigate the CCP's crimes against humanity in China. Implement the universal jurisdiction of the Rome Convention on Crimes Against Humanity and initiate judicial investigation procedures against Chinese officials, doctors, police officers, and other relevant personnel suspected of participating in live organ harvesting. Create and enforce legislation that prohibits the training of organ transplant technologies destined for use in China and prohibit citizens from going to China to participate in organ transplants or other coordinated crimes. WOIPFG abides by the principle of responsibility. All the crimes committed in the name of an organization, a unit, or a system shall eventually fall on the individuals involved. Anyone who aids or abets a crime will be charged directly with the crime, as if they had carried it out themselves. All responsible individuals involved in the persecution of Falun Gong shall be thoroughly investigated and brought to justice. Self-confessing, reporting others' crimes, and striving for redemption are the only way out. Although individuals obsessed with their crimes will not admit to them, they can't stop others, including their accomplices, from reporting. Consequently, they may lose the chance to redeem themselves. There's no escape from the long arm of the law. Good and evil shall be repaid. We call on all governments, organizations, and righteous people around the world to take actions right now. Comprehend communism's ultimate goal and thoroughly investigate and punish the CCP's crimes against humanity. There is no time to waste. This is not only about punishing the perpetrators for their crimes, but more importantly, it is about saving humanity's last bit of morality and conscience. This battle between good and evil is a comprehensive moral test for every individual, every organization, and every country's government. At this juncture in history, we hope that people will choose conscience and justice and eliminate evil together. World Organization to investigate the persecution of Falun Gong is determined, as always, to bring all agencies, organizations, and individuals guilty of persecuting Falun Gong to justice, no matter how long it takes and no matter how far and deep we have to search. We shall carry out our investigation till the end, fulfill our mission, and uphold justice in the world. This is our promise to the Almighty. We shall never give up. Please continue to watch Episode 31, CCP doctors sever limb tendons of a detained Falun Gong practitioner to facilitate live organ harvesting. In particular, please note that this is a worldwide unrestricted war without gunpowder. The CCP's crime of live organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners not only continues, but has spread throughout society. For example, in 2013, a 6-year-old child, Little Bean, in Shanxi went missing. 2 days later, he was found with his eyes gouged out for his cornea. Dozens of university students in Wuhan disappeared for no reason in recent years, and countless children and women go missing every year. Live organ harvesting has become a threat to everyone. Perhaps, as we are talking, many kind and innocent people are being put onto operation tables for their organs, and also many have been detained in dark prisons for many years, and their hearts, livers, and kidneys are waiting to be excised in an indescribably cruel way at any moment. How urgently they need rescue from the outside world. How excruciating it is for their parents, brothers, and sisters to bear the pain of missing their loved ones for years. Live organ harvesting signifies an unprecedented atrocity that has never existed on this planet. We cannot heartlessly ignore the fact that the Chinese Communist Party is ravaging and killing people. We cannot watch the CCP flagrantly destroy the bottom line of morality with lies, coercion, and financial lures that aim to silence and lead the entire human race to fundamental destruction without taking action. We urge everyone to like, subscribe, and spread the word about our program. Let your family, relatives, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and anybody else in your social circle know the facts of the CCP's mass organ harvesting from living Falun Gong practitioners. Please tell the whole world the truth and stand together to put a stop to the CCP's crimes against humanity. This is a critical issue related to the well-being and security of each individual, every community, and our entire society. Thank you very much for your attention and support.
感谢各位朋友，感谢大家的关注支持。
World Organization to investigate the persecution of Falun Gong, WOIPFG, was founded on January 20th, 2003. It is based in New York with branches in Europe, Australia, Asia, and Canada. WOIPFG's mission is to investigate the criminal conduct of all institutions, organizations, and individuals involved in the persecution of Falun Gong. To bring such investigations, no matter how long it takes, no matter how far and deep we have to search, to full closure, to exercise fundamental principles of humanity, and to restore and uphold justice in society. The principle of our investigation holds that those who have committed crimes shall be brought to justice. Individuals shall bear the same responsibility for their involvement in their organization's crimes, and those instigating the persecution shall bear the same responsibility of those who have physically carried out the persecution. We intend to uproot state-sanctioned crimes and safeguard human morality. The criminal conduct of all individuals within organizations, units, and departments involved in the persecution will be thoroughly investigated and brought to justice.